Hey, Eric Sider here, and in this video we are going to be reviewing the Kinkajou Bottle Cutting Kit. Now normally before I buy something I research things to death, but this was a bit of an impulse buy. Always wanted to try my hand at cutting up some glass bottles and reusing them for different projects. This one looked pretty good, the price was right, we ordered it up, and now we're going to give it a go. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, let's see what we got here. And if you're wondering what the heck does Kinkajou mean, apparently it's named after a small South American mammal with big teeth. So there's that. Anyway, here's the main event. What else we got in here? So this thing feels pretty solid. It's got some rubbery rollers, cutting wheel, the adjustment knobs, which are pretty substantial, cutting wheel up and down, and this, let's see, the range of sizes goes from 1 3/4 inches or 43 millimeters to 4 inches or 102 millimeters. So pretty good size range. Got this little device for snapping off some chips if it doesn't break clean through. Instructions, some 80 grit sandpaper just to take that sharp edge off after your score. And these are separation ties, something like that. Basically, these are rubber zip ties that you put around on either side of the score line, and they help direct the water, so it increases your chances of it separating exactly where you want. Alright, let's get a bottle in there and try her out. Alright, so I wanted this to be the first time I've ever used this thing on camera, but the video got screwed up, so we're gonna reshoot it, and I'm not gonna pretend I haven't used it before. But anyway, there's still some things I find challenging about it that I'll let you know. So basically, first things first, extend all these levers, and you want to get your bottle in there. And this one, I mean, you could do a vase if you cut it up high, I suppose, or if you really want a really big glass, but what inspired me to do this in the first place was my friend Joe back in New York City used to make light fixtures out of the liquor bottles that we served at the bar, so that's what this one's going to do. So we're going to cut this towards the bottom. Gonna be like a funky green mood light, I suppose. And let's see, there's this little hump there, so we're gonna try and get the score line just above that. And ordinarily I'd recommend removing the label. You don't really want to have anything getting in the way of your do this so we can get more of the bottle in there. I think it'd be a little more stable. So you wanna get that in there. And then you're gonna need to even up these as best you can. millimeters, so that's pretty good. Goes down. Now this needs to move relatively easily. If it's not, then you need to open these back up and loosen up those, put them back on. So, we want that. They're even. We can move it. Alright, so now lowering the cutting wheel, and the instructions say to hold this with one hand and spin the bottle with the other, so let's see how we go. Of course, this bottle's not perfectly round, so there's some easier and harder spots. Right now it's a little challenging to rotate, so it's probably a little this lines up, and there you go. So this is the most challenging. Wow, I overshot that quite a bit. So doesn't matter that it's not the first time I've done it. That's still the biggest challenge of this device. Is, so you can see that the score line is off a couple millimeters there, so we'll try it again, just so see if we can get a good score line. But on the you can watch the how-to videos online on their website, and they make it sound pretty easy to make it line up, but I find it pretty difficult. I don't know if, oh, let's see, something I'm doing wrong, but I mean, there's considerable amount of play in this, and it's not, you know, it's not that loose in there, so let's see if we can get it a little tighter and see if that helps. It's still pretty easy to move. Alright, that's attempt number 2. This time we're going to hold the bottle and spin the and looks like we're going off again. Yep. Same problem. Attempt number 2. Right. Seems to be the same problem. Oh, you can see this. Wow. Alright, I think I'm done with this bottle. Let's try something else. Let's try this little olive jar. Maybe I'll have some more success. Oh, there it is. Heard that. I don't know if you guys could hear that click. But there you go. Oh. See, and that's actually off by about, I don't know, half a millimeter, so that's not even that great, but we'll save it and see if it separates at all. Got a couple more little spice jars. Now these are kind of at the opposite end of the spectrum as far as how small you can cut. Alright. That one looks good. Alright, that one's good. Let's try this another one. Ah, damn it. See him twisting it. Well, not so good. We got this guy's and this guy. Good. This guy, no good, and this was a disaster. So, see if I have any more bottles we can try out before we move on. Alright, here we go. Topo Chico bottle. It's got a cool little embossed logo down there. So let's, hopefully this one will prove more successful. Alright, fingers crossed. I'll be honest, at this point I'm at a loss at how we're supposed to do this, so. I don't know if you could see that on video, but I was straining to get that to meet up. So you can see it kind of dips down there a little bit. That's kind of wonky. But you probably buff that out. So, well, we'll see how that separates. Alright, let's boil some water and get to separating. Alright, so we got our water fresh off the boil. We got our cold water, which is just basically straight out of the tap. And we got our separation bands. Now, if you're doing this at home, you'd probably want to be doing this over the sink, but this is for filming purposes. It looks much better lighting here, so we got our portable system. Alright, so that's above, and then we're going below. And they say no more than 1 inch space between the two bands. So you want to get pretty close. And now let's remember this was the score line. I had to kind of fudge it at an angle to get it to meet up, so not sure what's going to happen, but let's give it a go. And the thicker the glass, the more changes of hot and cold you're going to be doing. So you can see the bands pretty well, just keeping that water right, channeling right around the score line. So it's the expansion and contraction of the glass that's going to hopefully make it separate right at the score line. And you also, if you're doing this in the sink and you got fairly high up, you probably want to put a towel or something, so whatever, when it does separate, it doesn't, yeah, we can already see a crack that it's not following the line. And that's something to keep in mind. This is far from an exact procedure, so you're gonna need multiple bottles. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and see, you can see that little dip right there. You can see that where it, you know, it's got a fairly significant dip, so alright, let's put this off to the side and try our next guy. Try our olive oil, or sorry, our stuffed olive jar. You can see this one jumped up and came back down, so. Stubborn. Oh. Yeah, this is cracking all. Alright, we're just gonna call it a day on this one because it's splitting all over the place. Ooh. Yeah, you can see it's down there, it's up there. It's probably gonna try and meet, so that's all kinds of wonky. Let's see if this one will do the job. Oh, there we go. That looks like a good one. All right. Well, success. So, really nice score line, more or less. Okay, now the next step is the buffing, and they say you want to keep this wet so you don't get the dust everywhere, but this is really just to take the sharp edge off so it's not dangerous. So you got the 3 sides, the front, the top, and the inside you got to take care of. Alright, so there we go. It's no longer a danger. Now you'd need to go up multiple grits of sandpaper if you really want to get that polished and shiny. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that. It's definitely challenging. a bit, this Kinkajou. I mean, I think there's a few bottle cutting kits out there with this design, more or less, where it rotates around the bottle. I find it challenging to get that score line to meet up. I mean, maybe my technique is rubbish, I don't know. I'm sure if anybody out there can comment on that, but there's other kits that are stationary, kind of like a tabletop set where the bottle rotates. Ones I checked out, they're maybe twice as expensive, so it kind of depends if you want to do this regularly or once in a while. I'd probably look into getting the one that sits on the table. I think one that got good reviews, around $85. This, when I bought it, was about $35. That was end of last year, so I don't know if that was a special or what. They did a Kickstarter to start their company. Now it's retailing for $50. Not sure if I would have bought it if it was $50, but I mean, it's definitely seems pretty sturdy, well made. It's well thought out, more or less, except the design itself I have issues with. So, you know, if you want to dip your toes into bottle cutting, it's not too big of an investment, but I mean, it does produce some nice things. This was, I like that one. I don't know, I have a infatuation with tiny impractical glasses, but you can get it to work. It's just getting that score line to meet up and then hoping the bottle cracks properly. So it's definitely something you're gonna go through numerous bottles before you get nice ones. I think that's just the nature of the craft. All right, well, if you enjoyed that, hit the like button. If you're getting something out of these videos, consider subscribing. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.